Welcome to the program. Ukraine's Ministry of Foreign Affairs plans to create Ukrainian Institute, which will represent the country abroad. According to the officials, the institution will have numerous branch offices in various European countries and also in Asia and Central America. Joining us in the studio to talk about the opportunity to promote Ukraine worldwide is Lubko Derish, a writer. Hello, and thank you for coming.
Hello.
So, as I have already mentioned, Ukraine's Ministry of Foreign Affairs plans to create Ukrainian Institute, an institution which will promote Ukraine abroad, let people abroad know Ukraine from the cultural side, from the historical side. What do you think about that? Is that a good initiative?
Absolutely, and it's very on the time, and I suppose that initiative should come maybe a few years before, like in 2010, something.
Why so?
Because we have a big gap between what we have in our country and how the country is perceived or accepted abroad. Mm-hmm. And in the beginning of 2000s, we had very good chance to communicate with Europe due to writers. Surprisingly, for example, Yuri Andruchovich, Oksana Zabushko, after them Serhiy Zhadan, they built I would say bridge to represent a new kind of Ukraine, which is really modern, which is widely thinking and widely watching on this world. So I suppose this Ukrainian Institute or Ukrainian University should go on with this initiative and use the power of culture to build the dialogue between Ukraine and the rest of the world.
Similar institutions already function around the world. There are British Council, Polish Institute, Goethe Institute. The officials in Ukraine say that they have profoundly studied the experience of the other countries who have already organized such institutions. Should Ukraine follow the learned experience precisely, or maybe we should come up with something more innovative?
Mm-hmm. I think we should debate on the proportion between so-called official culture and unofficial, or maybe just not teenage culture, but, you know, free culture, I would say it.
Okay. Are you talking about young generation here,
yes.
Young generation of cultural leaders in Ukraine?
I speak about young writers, young artists, young musicians who have this new experience of being involved into worldwide communications due to social media. Whereas the older generation doesn't quite well understand what's going on in this new global world. So we need to give a chance, we need to trust these youngsters, young leaders, and to give them a chance to build this communication due to culture. And we shouldn't try not to too much regulate these communications. It should flow free, I suppose.
So we don't give the rest of the world the wrong message about Ukraine, right?
Well, this communication should be should have some borders, I suppose, and this is what we call the official culture. We should speak about some important historical events. We should speak about some important personalities, for example, like Mikhailo Hrushevsky, maybe, or Kazimir Malevich, who is also Ukrainian and who is not so oftenly recognized as Ukrainian. But I suppose it should be about 20% in the general amount of the whole information which we should give to the world. The rest of this part should be filled with young culture, which is very independent, very free-thinking, and which speaks the same language that I suppose the rest of the world speaks.
What kind of events, in your opinion, should Ukrainian Institute organize abroad to show the free-thinking Ukraine? Should those be, I don't know, like workshops or maybe literary readings, anything that is popular right now?
Well, literature or literary readings is a very nice try, because I was the witness how it works. But in 2000s, I saw how Yuri Andruchovich worked, how Serhiy Zhadan worked.
And they managed to influence people's attitude around the globe towards Ukraine.
Absolutely. They attracted young, very young, nice people, and they were very interested in Ukraine. Afterwards, these young people, they came to Ukraine. They were eager to come to Kyiv, to come to Lviv, to see the places described by Zhadan, by Andruchovich.
Only because they got acquainted with the poetry or masterpieces of those poets. Am I getting it right?
Mostly because of the charisma of these writers, yes. But literature is like the second weapon, I suppose.
What is the first one?
We should speak about young artists, painters, because art is beyond the words. And it's also understood without words. The same thing we should say about music, which is also very nicely recognized. For example, we can mention Onuka here, or the Dach daughters, which are also very experimental and very ethnical, and they speak about Ukraine without speaking about the Ukraine.
So actually, they deliver a powerful message of Ukraine being modern. Well, unfortunately, these days, Ukraine is known around the world as a country with problems with corruption, with war, and with various problems. Can the creation of Ukrainian Institute actually change that?
I wouldn't be so sure.
Okay.
But it could help. I think it can help because every time we attract attention to Ukraine, every time we attract attention to such kind of situation, these people who are having their undercover games, they feel more frightened and they feel more restricted in their actions. So I think it's a good direction to work in.
Okay, I agree. Well, hopefully, once Ukrainian Institute starts working, the whole world will understand how great Ukraine is. Thank you so much for coming. It was such a joy to have you. That was Lubko Derish, a Ukrainian writer. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.